I forgot to mention NaLyssa Smith is gone. If you're the Fever, how great do you feel about that?
Did NaLyssa Smith just throw the Indiana Fever under the bus? In a shocking turn of events, the former Fever star couldn't resist taking one last shot at her old team after being traded to Dallas. But here's where it gets interesting. While Smith plays the victim and fired off a parting shot that's raised eyebrows across the league, the Fever might have just pulled off the steal of the century. Sophie Cunningham is headed to Indy, and she's bringing a whole lot more than just her hot three-point range. Are you ready to dive into the drama and see why this trade could be a game changer for the Fever? Let's go. Remember when NaLyssa Smith burst onto the scene as the second overall pick in the 2022 WNBA draft? The Indiana Fever thought they'd struck gold, landing a player who could transform their franchise. But sometimes, even the brightest stars can fade fast in this league. Let's rewind to those early days. Smith showed flashes of brilliance, averaging a solid 13 points and 8 rebounds per game in her first 2 seasons. Fever fans were buzzing with excitement, thinking they'd found their cornerstone player to build around for years to come. But then came the 02-24 season, and something just wasn't right with Smith. It's like she hit a wall, and her game took a nosedive that left everyone scratching their heads. Picture this. Smith, once a defensive force, now looking lost on the court. Easy layups that used to be automatic, clanking off the rim, and don't even get me started on those free throws. By the end of the season, then Coach Christy Sides couldn't even trust Smith in crunch time. The player who was supposed to be the Fever's go-to option was riding the bench when the game was on the line. Talk about a fall from grace. Are you ready for some shocking stats? Smith's numbers tell a brutal story. Her scoring plummeted to just 10.6 points per game, while her rebounds dropped to a career-low 7.1 per game. But it wasn't just the raw numbers. Smith's efficiency fell off a cliff. She was missing shots at an alarming rate, and her defense? Let's just say opposing players were licking their chops when they saw Smith guarding me. But that's not all. As Smith's on-court struggles mounted, so did the frustration from Fever fans. Social media was buzzing, and not in a good way.